Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation, we're going to do a quick walkthrough for ISSC422 Information Security. Currently, I'm logged on as a student in the course so that you can see exactly what you should be seeing when you come into the course room for the first time. At the very top of the page, going across left to right, you have these links here that are going to allow you access to any of the courses you are currently enrolled in and any previous courses that you've taken at A+. If you click on this, you can pull down this menu and you can see the courses that are currently available to you up inside of your course room. Now, if you would like to ensure that those courses stay in place each time you pull down this menu, just go over here to the right and click on the pin. That will pin the course to your course homepage. This will give you access to all of your discussions. You can click on these little breadcrumbs up here in this taskbar, and it'll take you over to the discussions. Here you'll see all of the discussions that are currently available to you up inside of the course. Most of you are going to want to know, how do I access the labs and the reading material for this course? That's going to be available to you under Content. So up here in the taskbar, just click on Content. This is going to bring up everything that you need to complete the assignments for that week. I suggest that you start off with the course overview and introduction, and then you get into your week one. Let's go ahead and collapse this real quick. And this is the view that you're going to have when you come into Content for the first time. All the resources and everything that you need for the course will be broken down for you by the week. So let's begin with week one. So if I expand this, you'll see that I have everything that I need for the learning material and activities and assessment. So the learning materials, I'll go ahead and expand this, and you can launch the lesson, or you can click on reading and resources to also get into the same information. Now, if you launch the lesson here, you're going to be taken through all of this one part at a time. Now, the idea is that this information is presented to you in a logical presentation, that you're going to learn the material, go through all of this information that's currently brought to you inside of the course reading, and then at the end of the week, you're going to do the activities and assessment. You can click on activities and assessment here, and you can see that you have the discussion. You're also going to have some videos posted by the instructor. You'll have the week one lab. Additionally, you'll have the week one quiz. Now, the week one lab is going to take you out to the JBL learning site. So if you click on this, that's going to be your link to access the JBL learning site so that you can do the online labs. Now, this is the lab links that you have. Currently, you have the actual lab for week one, and then you're going to have a lab worksheet, which you must complete. Now, let's go ahead and launch the week one lab by using the link that is provided for us. That's going to take us out to the internet. This is going to begin the setup of your lab environment. Click on the link that says Start Lab. Once your lab environment has been built, you can go ahead and click on the link to Start Lab. The starting of the lab is going to load some virtual machines and create your lab environment, so do be patient. Now, depending on your link to the internet and how much bandwidth and throughput your connection has will depend on what type of experience you're going to have with this online lab environment. Once the lab has been built for you, go ahead and click on the link to enter the lab. Now, when you're up here inside of the JBL Learning, this is an actual virtual machine. This is a working production machine, meaning that it is an actual install of the operating system. It's no different than the operating system on your computer or your host machine. Now, up here to the right, going across the top in the blue taskbar, you have a number of tools to help improve your learning experience. If you need a keyboard, you click on the keyboard option, pull this down, and you can show onboard keyboard. That's going to be down here at the bottom. If you no longer need that, you can go back here and hide the on-screen keyboard. If you need to send a Control-Alt-Delete to log in to a virtual machine, pull this down and you can send a Control-Alt-Delete, and there you'll be allowed to have access to type in a username or password if one is required. Next, over here you have the system. Pull this down. You can change your resolution, take a screenshot, restart the virtual machine, shut down the virtual machine, power cycle, power off. Overwrite the state save, revert to last state save, revert to initial state. That means if you want to just start the lab completely over again, well, you have that option. Over here, you have an indicator of what type of connection you currently have. Next to that, you have the options. Click on this. You can run your system checker to see if your environment is actually compatible with the JBL Learning Online Lab. You can reload the lab, reset the lab, extend the lab, ask for technical support, and unpin toolbar. Now over here to the left, you have the lab guide. Now if I close this, you'll notice that the lab guide disappears. If this happens to you and you need to get the lab guide back, just go over here, find the two arrows, click, and that will reopen the lab guide. Up here at the top of the lab guide, you can resize the font, you can print out the lab guide, and you can pop the lab guide out into a separate window. Up here at the top of the lab guide, if you click on any of these topics, the information for that topic will be presented for you in the bottom window. For instance, right now we are looking at before you begin. That information for that topic is presented for you in the bottom window. It is advised that students start at the beginning of each lab and go through the instructions step by step. For example, if you look at what we have here inside of the content for this lab, we have the before you begin, we have the introduction. Click on the introduction, go through the introduction. When you're done with the introduction, you have the hands-on demonstration. This is going to show you how the lab should be completed, and it's going to take you through the lab that you're going to do for the hands-on part, step by step by step. So you click on section 1, and now you're going to go through the lab, and it's going to tell you everything that you have to do. Once you've gone through the demonstration, you can then go on to section 2, applied learning. You can click on this. Now, I recommend that you go through the lab, read everything one time before you begin the lab to see what you're going to be faced with. You can scroll through this and you can see everything that is expected of you so that you can successfully complete this lab. Do not jump around inside the lab. If you skip a step, then you can expect probably nothing to work as it's supposed to for that particular lab. So make sure you go through each step, one step at a time. In the before you begin portion of the lab file, you can scroll down and you'll come upon the deliverables. This is where you're going to find everything that you need to be able to create your lab file, fill out the information, take screenshots, and answer any questions that are going to be asked of you. Students are only expected to complete the before you begin, section 1 and section 2. Section 3 is not a requirement for this course. Each one of these lab assignments has 2 deliverables. One is the lab report file that you're going to create, which is just a Word document. You just go down to your local machine here. You're going to launch your Word program. From here, you'll create a new blank document. And this is where you're going to paste any screenshots that you have. This will be one of the documents that you have to submit to show completion of the lab requirements. The other file that you must complete and submit will be back on the start page where you launched the lab to begin with. That will be the lab worksheet. You click on this, you're going to fill out this information, and you will answer the questions. Students are expected to use outside resources other than those provided for them within the course. That includes the course text and the lab environment itself. So if you get stuck and you need information about the difference between a virus and a Trojan, where can you go? You can go to YouTube. You can type in differences between virus and Trojan. You can go to the internet, and in the Google search bar, you can type in differences between a virus and a Trojan, and you'll have all the information that you need to answer each one of these questions if you need help outside of the course room. You can adjust these windows just by placing your mouse on the spacer at the top and then just pulling down by holding down your left mouse button. So in section 2 here, you will be asked to provide screenshots. For instance, in part 1, if I click on this and I scroll down here to the bottom, you'll see that I have the instructions for that particular part of the lab assignment. As you go through here, it's going to ask you to take a screenshot. Let's see if we can find one here. Here we see on step 7, make a screen capture showing the scan summary detection page and paste it into the lab report file. That is the document that you created using Microsoft Word at the beginning of the lab. So you can go up here, click on take a screenshot. You can then save the file, or you can just open it up and there's your screenshot. But that's not how I would recommend you do it. For me, I like to use a program called Greenshot, and it's down here at the bottom, and it loads into my taskbar. And this is it right here. This is a free program that allows me to take a screenshot, not of the whole window, but just what I need. This keeps the size of that file or that image down to a manageable size. Now, once I have my Greenshot application installed on my host machine, all I have to do is press the print screen button on my keyboard, and then I get this ability here to grab just an area that I need, like so. And once I've done that, I can just copy to clipboard. Now I bring up my Word document, and all I have to do is just right click and I can paste. And there's my screenshot. To get this program, you can just go out to the internet. It is free. Open up a search page, and in the search bar, just type in Greenshot. And that'll take you out to the Greenshot site. Here you can get a free download of the program. You can install it, and then you'll have access to it up inside of your context menu just by pressing the print screen button on your keyboard. I can copy to clipboard. I can save it to a Microsoft Outlook file. I can put it into a Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Excel, or I can load it into Paint if I would like to do some type of editing. For instance, if I just want to do something up here with Paint before I submit the image, I can do so. We can go ahead and close this out. And back at the lab file, again, you're going to have the steps that you must complete in the lab to meet the requirements for each assignment each week. So make sure you understand how to read these lab instructions. And when it tells you to capture a screenshot, just do so, put it into your Word document, and then put a small caption. Now let me show you how we do that. If I open up this Word document here, let's go ahead and make this full screen. This is my image. I would like to add a caption down here. I could right click on this. From here, I can say insert caption. From here, I can say figure 1 is step 7. I can say okay. Go ahead and make that just a little bigger, just like so. And now you'll see that I have the caption right here. I now see that I'm going to have the information that I need as the instructor to be able to grade this assignment correctly. And so that's going to conclude the short video presentation on our course overview for ISSC422 or ISSC421. If you have any questions or concerns about any of the information that was covered in this short video, Please do not hesitate to reach out, contact your instructor, and I'll see you up inside of the course room.